Okay, now I want to go to start with the second part, using Citavi as a database for references. This includes two steps. First of all, you have to get the information into Citavi, tell Citavi this is the file, this is the entry, author, all of these things, volume, journal, and so on. And then you have to add a file. The hardest thing is to get the entry into the database, and there are several ways of doing this. You can use the DOI number, you can search in Citavi, use an import text file, or just type it in yourself. And I'm going to start with the easiest way of doing it, the DOI number. I have no idea what that means, but I'm going to show you how helpful it is. So, assuming you have your three documents here, and you have also Citavi here. By the way, once you click on Citavi, maybe this should be interesting, you have to create a new project, and you can do this by clicking on new project and then writing, I don't know, Steve Demo project, something like that. So this is your new Citavi project, and it takes hours until it gets loaded, but now here it is. So what you want to do is now you want to add entries into your Citavi. You have a huge folder full of files with different names, and you lost oversight, and now you want to get them all into Citavi. That's the main thing. So how do you do that? DOI number, right? That's what we want to do. DOI number. So if you open these files, you will see this number, DOI number. It's sometimes at the top. Here it's at the top again. Here, for example, it's at the very bottom of the first page. It's mostly on the first, those on the first page. Here it is. What you do is you just copy this, close the file. This paper I just opened was by Barr and Sarah, Corruption and Culture. So I just copied the DOI number to my clipboard, and now I'm clicking on Retrieve by ISBN here, and just pasting the number, add. Now Citavi is looking it up, and it found exactly what I'm looking for. This is almost foolproof, and I'm adding this to the project. And here it is. Here's the data entry. You have the name of the authors, you have the title, you have everything you need, all information you need, and you don't have to do anything else. This is the most easy thing of doing it. By the way, Citavi is categorized in 4 windows. You have the list window here, list of references. Here you have the specifics on one reference, for example, overview, references, and other things, context and citations. I will get to that later. But the most important part here is the reference, because this is where you can type in things, and this is what we're going to want to do right now. We want to make sure that the entry is correct here. And yeah, here, categories and list, I'm going to get to that later. Just focus on these 2 windows right now. Yeah, and here's a preview. That's also something else I'm going to get to later. So this is the first thing. This is the first way of doing it. You added a DOI number. You added a paper via the DOI number. Now the second thing you can do is you can search for it in Citavi. Let's do this with the second paper. So this has already been added. The second paper. No, let's do this with the same paper actually. I'm just going to delete this data entry and look for this again. So I'm going to look for Corruption and Culture and Experimental Analysis, Barr and Sarah. And I can search with Citavi. Search. No, sorry, this is searching within Citavi, online search. And when you're doing this for the first time, this is only one-time thing. You have to add databases. I think there are 3 or so already added. I added some more. You can add databases, just type a name, and then you can find anything you want and add it. And Citavi will look in all of these databases. The problem is the more databases you have, the longer it will take, but I think 10 or so is not a problem, and then you'll be sure to always find something. So what I just copied was the title, and it was by Barr and Sarah. So these are important. These are 2 important entries. Now it should be sufficient. Now Citavi is looking in all of these databases, and it found something. There are 2. What I have to do now is to check whether they are correct. As you can see, this is not as easy as using a DOI number, but it still is pretty helpful. And here, this is all correct. The title is correct. These names are correct. The year is correct. I have the document here, so I can check all of these things if these are correct. And if it's correct, then I can just add it to the project. Only the selected one. I selected it before, and now I have it in the project. I have everything I wanted, just like using a DOI number. This is, however, this is done by people, so there might be errors in here. This isn't automatical. So you always have to check whether this is correct, but mostly it is correct. So this is the second way of doing it, things to Citavi, searching in Citavi. The third way of doing it is import via bibtext ref. It looks cool. What do I mean with that? Well, first of all, I'm going to delete this again, and I'm going to look for, I'm going to open, one moment. Yeah, I'm going to open Google. And now type in the title again. This should be sufficient now. And now I'm going to go to Google Scholar. Google Scholar is here. It mostly pops up. Or you can also go to more. Google changed. You can go to Google Scholar. How the hell do you go to this Google Scholar? Here. Shopping, bloggers, calendar. Wait. Okay, it's good. I have no idea you get there. Just go to Google Scholar via Google, type Google Scholar, and then you are in Google Scholar. Let's do it like that. Yeah. You could have just clicked on that other link, Google Scholar. So here you are, Google Scholar. And then you type in title again, and there you are. You have exactly what we're looking for. And now here's a button more, and here's cite. And you can cite this. But you can import the information Google has. For example, with different styles. I always use the bibtext. So just click on this, import into bibtext. Then you have some kind of text. You can either save this as a text document, means you copy, and you put it into a text document, and save it. Or, now it's here, or you just copy it. I copied it to my clipbox. And now what you can do is you can click on File, Import Text File, bibtext. I use the file you used. It was this one here. And here you see what you just copied. Alternatively, you can also just click on bibtext, use text from clipboard, and then go next. It's exactly the same thing. So then you click next and next, and what Citavi does is it gives you exactly what you had before. It gives you the information. So if you can't find a DOI number and you can't find the article in Citavi by searching online, then the next thing you do is you go to Google and you use the bibtext which you copied. It's a little complicated, so I don't prefer that, but it's also very useful. And the fourth thing, if all of this doesn't work, if you can't find something, or if you're creating something yourself, some newspaper article, something that's not commonly cited, you can type it in yourself. It's the most troublesome thing, but it's also working. So you delete it again, and you add a reference. You select what kind of reference. For example, online articles have a date when you last accessed that. You don't have that in journals, so this depends. You have to select. You have to find out what you want. Contribution in, and so on and so forth. Mostly you should use journal articles in academic work, so that's what I use. That's what I'm going to use now. And then you have space and can type in everything from the file. A lot of work. You open the file, you look at the title, copy the title again, put it in here, and so on. And that's also possible to do. So these are the ways how you can copy the files into Citavi, the entries. Now it's about the files. Now how do you copy the files into Citavi? First of all, let's assume, because I have magical powers, that we have already added everything into Citavi in a correct way. Ta-da! So these are the 3 articles here. And the problem is we have a big file, several folders maybe, several folders full of documents, and we don't know what they are. They all have different names. Some uses numbers like this. And we want to have them we want to put them all into Citavi so we have an overview. And we have the 3 entries now, but not connected to files. What do? You click on one file, or one entry here, for example. Then you can have these different tabs. You go to References, and here you add the file. And for example, neutral versus Abing and Hayek and Henning Schmidt. You have to know which one is which. No. Yeah, this is the one. The one is starting with a 534. So what I do is I add the file, looking for 534. Where's this file? And now I can select what I want to do. I want to copy the file, I want to copy and rename it, just move it, do a link. And the most useful thing to do that I do is I move files and rename them, so that all of these files disappear, so I only have them at one place. I don't have copies, I don't get confused. If you link them, you might move them later on and the link won't work, so just copy them all to Citavi and you will have no problems at all. You can make safety copies if you wish, but it's easier to safety copy everything from Citavi than copying it separately. So just move them and rename them, and the moment you do this, they will appear here and they will disappear here. So you will get the desktop empty. I'm going to do this with other ones too. Local file, bar and server. Bar and server, is this bar and server? Yeah, bar and server. And the last one was truex. This should be it. Yeah, truex. So now I've copied them all to Citavi, and I've added the entries into the database, and then I added files into the database too. So nothing is on Citavi, and if I want to use them, I can just click on them, open them, and here they are. So this is part 2 of the tutorial.